One of the questions I get asked all the time during client consultations is, what does your branding process actually look like? And honestly, I get it. Hiring a designer can feel a little mysterious if you've never gone through the process before. You know you need branding, but you're probably wondering, what the hell happens after you hit that inquiry button? So today I want to take you behind the scenes and walk you through my entire branding process, from the initial inquiry all the way to final delivery. So you know exactly what it's like to work with me and why every step is designed the way it is. So let me start at the very beginning. The first step is filling out my inquiry form. The reason I have an inquiry form instead of immediately booking a call is because I want to learn a little bit more about your business before we even meet. And it gives me an insight into what you're looking for, what services you're interested in, where you're currently struggling, and whether we're a good fit. So once that form is submitted, you'll automatically receive an email from me thanking you for your interest in working with Visual Sugar Creative. Inside that email is a link to schedule a discovery call through Calendly. During that call, we're really just having a conversation. We're talking about your business, your goals, where you are right now, and where you want to be. What's working, what's not working, and whether branding is the right next step for your business. I also walk you through my process, answer any questions, discuss timelines, and go over investment options so you can determine what makes the most sense for where you are in business today. A lot of people come into these calls thinking they need one thing and realizing they actually need something completely different. So this conversation is incredibly important. If everything feels aligned, we're both excited to move forward, I will send over a personalized proposal. Inside that proposal, you'll find a complete breakdown of the services we discussed, pricing, payment options, timelines, deliverables, and my process. You'll also find the contract. Once you select your services, sign the contract, and pay the deposit, your project is officially booked. Now, before your project even begins, there's quite a bit happening behind the scenes. I start building out your project inside HoneyBook, so everything is organized from day one. You will receive access to your client portal, where you'll be able to see project milestones, important dates, forms, and communication throughout the project. I also create a dedicated Google Drive folder specifically for your project. This is where all your final files will live and where I organize project assets along the way. The goal is to make everything easy to find and eliminate the stress of wondering where the hell something is. Then comes the onboarding. On your project start date, you will receive a welcome email that outlines exactly what to expect throughout the project. Inside that email, you will find important dates, project milestones, links to your resources, and your client questionnaire. And this questionnaire is probably one of the most important parts of my entire process. It is not a quick 10-minute form. It's extensive. Because before I can build a brand, I need to understand your business. I need to understand your audience. I need to understand your goals. I also need to understand what makes your business unique. I want to know what challenges you're facing, what opportunities you see, what your customers are saying, and how you want your brand to be perceived moving forward. Along with the questionnaire, I also ask clients to create a Pinterest board. This gives me visual insight into what they're naturally drawn to. Not because I'm going to copy anything from Pinterest, but because it helps me understand the styles, the emotions, the aesthetic, and visual language they're connected with. Usually, I give clients about a week to complete both the questionnaire and their Pinterest board. Once I receive everything back, this is when the real work begins. And honestly, this is the phase that most people never see. A lot of people assume designers immediately jump into logos. Well, I don't. Before I even touch a design program, I start researching. I take everything from the questionnaire and begin digging deeper. I look at your competitors, I analyze your market, I evaluate positioning opportunities. I study audience behavior, I look for patterns, I identify strengths, weaknesses, and opportunities, because branding isn't just about making something look pretty. Branding is about perception. It's about understanding how people experience your business before they ever buy from you. This includes things
Once
like
all of that research
your brand
is complete,
purpose, your positioning,
start building your brand
personality,
strategy,
audience insight, messaging, foundation, competitor analysis, and creative direction. Then I create 2 strategic mood boards. These aren't random collections of pretty images. Every image, font, color direction, and design choice is intentional. Each mood board tells a different story and creates a different emotional experience. I explain exactly why I chose each direction and how it connects back to your goals, audience, and positioning. Then it's your turn. You'll review both options and provide feedback inside Honeybook. You'll then tell me which direction feels most aligned, what you love, and why. Once we have an approved creative direction, I move into concept development. This is usually everyone's favorite phase because it's the time your brand starts to come to life visually. Using the approved mood boards, I create one fully developed brand concept. That concept includes your logo system, color palette, typography, supporting elements, patterns, icons, photography direction, and visual applications. One thing that's important to know is that I don't just show logos on a blank white page. I want you to see your brand in the wild. I want you to see what it looks like on packaging, websites, social media, printed materials, and other real-world applications, because that's how your customers will be experiencing it. When I present the concept, you'll once again provide feedback through Honeybook. Most of the time, because we've done so much strategic work up front, there are very few revisions needed. The strategy phase does a lot of the heavy lifting. Once the concept is approved, I move into the final brand guidelines. This is where everything comes together. Your brand guidelines becomes the roadmap for your visual identity moving forward. They document your logo usage, typography, color palette, photography direction, visual style, and brand standards. The goal is consistency. Whether you're posting on Instagram, updating your website, working with a marketing team, creating packaging, or hiring another designer years from now, you'll have a clear guide to follow. And finally, we move into project completion. I organize everything and upload all the final deliverables into your Google Drive folder. That includes your strategy documents, mood boards, concepts, brand guidelines, logo files, brand assets, and everything created throughout the project. At that point, you officially have complete brand system that was built strategically from the ground up. And that's my entire brand process. When people see the final logo, they're only seeing a small piece of the project. The majority of the work happens before the design ever starts. The research, the strategy, the positioning, the audience understanding, and the decision making. Because great branding isn't just about creating something beautiful. It's about creating something intentional, something that feels aligned, something that helps people understand who you are, what you do, and why they should trust you. And that's why my process is structured the way it is. If you have any questions about branding strategy or what it's like to work together, leave me a comment. I would love to answer them. And if you enjoyed the behind the scenes branding content, don't forget to subscribe because I have a lot more videos coming your way.